Here's Navarro on the run. Navarro's going to keep it. Navarro for 6. Touchdown, Bobcat.
I feel I had a hard time staying in my own lane.
Oh my goodness! Red Murdoch, pick 6.
Harvath inside the 30, the 20. Blake Harvath will score.
And Mendoza takes a big hit. He never saw it coming. Trey White got in there.
There's his man, Rucker. And nobody's going to catch him. Goodbye.
Intercepted. Tyree Skipper, touchdown.
Telly again, why not? A step forward and make it 2 for Telly.
Quarterback keeper showing off the speed, steps on the gas, untouched.
The G5 Hive. All G5, all the time.
Welcome to the G5 Hive, where we bring you the G5 college football coverage you love each and every week. I'm Luke. No Justice today, as he had some surgery today. So it is just me, solo. So I'm going to do my best. I'm doing everything today. I'm taking the timestamps. I'm doing all the slides. I'm going to try my best to interact with the comments here. If you guys have something to say, I'll try to get it out there. Doing it all today. So big load on my shoulders today. But if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're watching us on X, give us a follow, a like, and a retweet. And if you're listening to us in podcast form, please rate and review. All right, let's move on to the Mountain West Conference and our Week 12 in review. And we got to start off right away with Air Force versus UConn. UConn had trouble stopping this fullback dive all day as Owen Allen rushed for 22 times for 122 yards. Other than that, Air Force's offense kind of sputtered once Sarka went out with that hand injury. After a 4th and goal from the UConn 3, Air Force would get stuffed on that one, and they would have 176 yards of total offense in 4 drives with Sarka, and they would have 170 yards with 5 drives without Sarka. While the score was close after 3 quarters, it was 16-10 UConn. UConn was kind of just in complete control in this one. I think it really hurt when Air Force had to settle for 3 after a 6-minute drive. The field goal would cut UConn's lead to that 16-10, but UConn would get 3 points of their own in the 4th quarter after about a 6-minute drive. The 9-point lead with 14-20 seemed kind of insurmountable given that Sarko was out. UConn wins 26-16. U.S. government comes back out of the shutdown, and you know what Air Force does is they pick off Joe Fagano for the first time this season. No other team can say that, but Air Force does. Joe Fagano just been crushing it this season. All right, Timothy, let's get to it. He wants to know, how did New Mexico win this game? Let's look at it. This was a snooze fest in the first half. Colorado State had 91 total yards. New Mexico had 195 yards, mainly from 2 drives. It was 10-0 at the half in favor of the Lobos. There would be 7 turnovers in the second half and 1 turnover on downs. Following a Scontre Humphreys fumble at the New Mexico 7, Colorado State would get a Rocky Beers 3-yard touchdown reception to cut the lead to 3. After New Mexico struggled to move the ball, they would punt it back to Colorado State, who would get 3 points, tie the game at 10. New Mexico would fumble again, but Colorado State would give it right back with an INT, and Austin Brawley would take it back 57 yards to set up New Mexico at Colorado State's 21-yard line. That was Brawley's second pick of the day, and it was a big one. New Mexico would score a touchdown to make it 17-10, and Colorado State would be intercepted on the very next drive, and New Mexico converted that into 3 points and are now up 20-10 with about 8.5 to go. On Colorado State's next drive, Darius Curry would find running back Lloyd Avant for a 4-yard touchdown to cut the lead to 3 with about 5 minutes to go. And then New Mexico would go on a long drive, eat up some clock. They had a 4th and 3 from the Colorado State 12, and they decided to put it in the hands of the players. 1 first down is going to end the game. A field goal would have made the Colorado State need a touchdown with under 30 seconds left. I mean, personally, that's probably what I'm doing. But anyways, defense, I mean, like I said, it's kind of been a rock fight. A lot of turnovers. Are they going to go the distance if they don't get it? They go for it. Jack Lane gets sacked. Colorado State takes over on their own 19-yard line. They have about 19 seconds left, but they're not able to move it down the field. New Mexico wins 20-17. Now, another game that did not have on my bingo card with this score, San Jose State at Nevada. Just no words for this one. In the first quarter, Nevada would intercept Walker Eget, take it to the house. In the very next San Jose State drive, Radcliffe would fumble. Nevada would turn that into another 7 points. In the second, Eget would get intercepted. And Nevada would get down to 13, would go down to 13, and they would score on the very next play to go up 28-0. Nevada's defense came to play as they would force 5 turnovers and 1 turnover on downs in the game. They held this explosive passing attack in check for 270 yards, and they created 4 interceptions. Nevada rolls in this one, 55-10. Nevada wins its first conference games in, wait for it, 749 days. Wow. Now, let's get to Utah State at UNLV. Utah State's looking to go bowling in this one, and this was a back-and-forth contest, and honestly a lot lower of a score than I thought it would be coming into it, as it was 17-16 UNLV heading into the fourth quarter. UNLV would tack on a field goal to go up 4, and after both teams traded 3 and outs, Utah State would score on a long Bryson Barnes touchdown run from 58 yards out to make it 23-20. Utah State with about 7 minutes to go. UNLV would respond with a field goal to tie things up with 2:18 left. Barnes would lead the Aggies down the field to set up Tanner Rinker for a game winner from 44 yards out. However, he misses it. We have extra football. Both teams would miss field goals in overtime, and in the second overtime, Utah State would get the ball first. They would get 3 points, and then on UNLV's first touch of the second overtime, Caden McGee would run it in from 25 yards out to propel UNLV to a 29-26 victory, and Utah State's going to have to wait another week to become bowl eligible. Boise State at San Diego State. First quarter featured 2 Boise State first downs, 7 punts, and 50 yards of combined offense. In the second quarter, we got some scoring as we saw 3 rushing touchdowns. Jaden Denegal would run in 2, and Dylan Riley would add another. In the third, we had a replay of the first quarter, but just more first downs, but 4 punts in the quarter and no points. San Diego State would kick a field goal to increase their lead to 10. It's now 17-7 with about 11 minutes to go. Boise would try a 41-yard field goal with 1:25 left. They would miss it. San Diego State wins this one by the final 17-7. Jaden Denegal was 6 of 10 for 17 yards. However, I did mention he ran in those 2 there in the second quarter. San Diego State just rides Lucky Sutton in this one. He had 25 rushing attempts for 150 yards. Wyoming at Fresno State. Fresno State's defense was the story of this game. They held Wyoming to 184 yards of total offense, and Wyoming was only 3 of 15 on third and distance. Wyoming would not cross 100 total yards until the 14:30 mark of the fourth quarter when Samuel Harris broke one off for 35 yards. Fresno State controlled this game as they had the ball for 45 of the 60 minutes. The score was closer than it really was for Fresno State, but once they scored a touchdown early in the fourth quarter that put them up 17-3, that was game over. Fresno State rolls in this one 24-3. All right. bowl eligible teams. No new teams to add this week, but there are 6 bowl eligible teams, which ties the American for the most in the G5. We've got Boise State, New Mexico, Hawaii, UNLV, Fresno, and San Diego State. Looking at the chat here, Timothy, dealing with the Mountain West, we won't know, I think, who's going to be playing in the Mountain West Championship game until the last game is over on the last weekend of the season. Now, this has been kind of all over the place. I really like how Hawaii is playing right now, and San Diego State. Definitely like how those two teams are looking right now. But let's move on over to our Week 13 preview. We've got a Friday night game. If you're gonna stay up late, you won't have to stay up Saturday until like whatever it is, 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, to watch Hawaii, because they will be playing UNLV, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, kickoff at UNLV. UNLV favored by 2.5 points. Over under set at 64.5. I'm going to take Hawaii in this one. I'm going to take them in the points in 2.5. Give me the Rainbow Warriors in this one. Saturday games: Nevada at Wyoming, 2 p.m. Eastern, kickoff. Wyoming favored by 6.5 points. Over under set at 41.5. I mean, that New Mexico or that Nevada defense, if they play like they did last week, I would take them. I'm just staying clear of this. You got 6 combined wins in this game. It is at Wyoming, so I think that that helps. But yeah, I'm going to stay clear of this one here. Then we've got New Mexico at Air Force. New Mexico favored by 3.5 points. Over under set at 56.5. I'm going to lay the points with New Mexico on the road. New Mexico's defense playing pretty well. Air Force has been porous. Is Liam Sarka playing or not? If he's not, I definitely like New Mexico. Is that Liam Sarka just gives them a more of an explosion for this offense. If they don't have that, I really like New Mexico. Jackson Eck has been playing great there at linebacker for them. Then we've got Colorado State at Boise State. This one, 7 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Boise State favored by 16.5. Over under set at 44.5. I'm going to take Colorado State to cover the points. 16.5 is a large number. I get it's at home for Boise State, but I don't think we're going to have MACtion back. Colorado State hasn't been playing well, but I don't think it's going to be like last week against New Mexico. But I just don't envision Boise State winning by 16.5. I'm going to take Colorado State in the points. Then we've got Utah State at Fresno State. Utah State looking to become bowl eligible. This one's a kickoff at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Fresno State favored by 2.5. Over under set at 50.5. I think I'm going to take Utah State and the points in this one. I think that they win this one outright. If Fresno State wins this one, I'm going to really have to calculate. I'm still trying to figure out like Fresno State and making that change at quarterback. Kind of what they're. I just really haven't been able to pinpoint like kind of what they are. Like they don't ever seem to like just have these dominant wins, except for last week. That defense was big, but we'll see what Bryson Barnes is able to do against this defense. And I'm going to give the edge to Aggies and that quarterback in this one. And then San Jose State at San Diego State, one that was very excited to watch towards the beginning of the year, seeing what San Jose State could do, but only 3 wins on the season. San Diego State favored by 11.5 at home. Over under set at 49.5. I'm going to lay the points. I'm going to lay the points with San Diego State, the 11.5. He's banged up. He's not throwing the ball well right now. I think he had like 75, 78, 73 yards passing last week. San Diego State's defense is for real. I look for them to lean on Lucky Sutton. If you missed earlier the news and notes, Napier, kick returner, stud wide receiver for them. He was seen in a leg brace, so it doesn't look like he's going to play. I look for San Diego State to lay the points there with 11.5. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. On X, give us a follow. And if you're listening to us in Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, please subscribe. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. We're so grateful for the amount of support we've received, and we sincerely thank each and every one of you. The G5 Hive website's out there. I know a lot of you subscribed about that for those who play college fantasy football. We appreciate you. We appreciate the feedback. Again, word of mouth is the best way to help us grow. Retweet our stuff, like our stuff. Those 5-star reviews, they all help. Like, subscribe. Be sure to join us next week as we discuss what happened in Week 13. We look forward to what's coming in Week 14. And as always, bring you up to date with the latest news and happenings in the world of G5 college football. Until the next time, we are the G5 Hive.
Hot dog,